Let me know in the comments below. If I were to tell you, listen, I will pay you $12 million, all you have to do is just go away for 17 years. Would you take it? You must follow the law. The law says...
Glorious. Is it a lawsuit? Probably. Why not?
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Buckle Up, It's the Law. Folks, I am from the dentist today, so you're gonna have to excuse me. The right side of my face is completely drooping. I don't even know how it looks like on camera, but I could not leave you guys hanging without a video recorded by yours truly. Today, folks, we are going to be doing a very interesting video. Today, we are going to be covering the 7 men who have been wrongfully convicted, served lengthy prison sentences, and have been released, and their short stories. Shout out to my editor, Boyan, for providing me with this. I'm going to be doing a cold react to the entire video. And without further ado, let's go.
This is John Bunn. He spent 27 years wrongfully convicted of murder.
I'm an innocent man, Your Honor, and I have always been an innocent man.
While living in Brooklyn, New York, Bunn was only 14 years old when he was arrested by NYPD detective Louis Scarcella. Bunn later spent 16 years behind bars and then 11 years out on parole, where he still fought to prove his innocence. Then finally, his conviction was overturned based on the wrongdoing of Detective Scarcella.
Son of a gun.
And the fact that there wasn't even probable cause to arrest Bunn in the first place.
I want y'all to know that y'all convicted and had a wrong man in prison.
And after 27 years of fighting to clear his name, he is finally exonerated.
I want to say thank you, Your Honor, because in 27 years, I've been fighting for my life.
But before he leaves the courtroom, he has a moment with the judge.
Oh, wow.
Bunn later filed a lawsuit against the city of New York and Detective Scarcella.
And by the way, one thing that the video does not mention is that Mr. Bunn received a $5.9 million settlement back in 2020 for Detective Scarcella's misconduct and wrongful arrest. Not only that, here is another fun fact for you all. Detective Scarcella has cost the city of New York over $110 collective million dollars. Think about that. $110 million in lawsuits because Scarcella, in his infinite wisdom, tried to wrap up murder cases really quickly, and so he would help convict innocent men and women. What a scumbag.
Is David Ranta. He spent 22 years behind bars for a murder he did not commit. In Brooklyn, New York, Ranta was arrested by Detective Louis Scarcella.
Same guy!
This is another wrongful conviction that's connected to Scarcella. Ranta was put in a police lineup run by Scarcella and was identified as the shooter. But decades later, reportedly, the key witness revealed that the detective had provided him with a description of whom to pick in the lineup.
Wow.
There was no physical evidence linking Ranta to the killing, and the evidence presented to the jury was allegedly fabricated. Ranta was then convicted and sentenced to 37.5 years to life in prison.
Wait a second. So Scarcella goes to the witness and says, "Hey, bud, you're gonna pick this person out of the lineup. Got it? Thank you, Sparky." That's not police work. You're planting an idea in the witness's mind as to who you want them to pick. That's not justice.
But after spending over 2 decades in prison, the former witnesses admitted that they were pressured into testifying against Ranta.
Unbelievable.
And now, this is the moment his conviction gets thrown out.
Mr. Brenda, to say that I'm sorry for what you have endured would be an understatement and grossly inadequate, but I say it to you anyway. The defendant's motion to vacate the judgment of conviction is granted.
Wow.
After his handcuffs were removed, he hugged his family. With all he owned thrown over his back, he walks out a free man. After his release, he reportedly received $2 million from the state and a $6.4 million settlement from the city of New York.
So he received a settlement similar to what Mr. Bunn had received.
She was sentenced to life in prison without parole based on an untruthful testimony. She was 42 years old when she was arrested in Los Angeles, California, at a McDonald's while taking her daughter to get a Happy Meal. But that was the last time she would see her child for 7 years, as she was charged for the murder of an ex-boyfriend.
You are under arrest now for murder.
Please believe me, I wouldn't do that.
Mellon's conviction was based solely on an informant who claimed that Mellon had confessed the killing to her. She was in prison for a total of 17.
Informants are very, very notoriously biased unless they actually lead to something that is fruitful, because they'll say anything and do anything to get a lighter sentence. You're basically throwing someone else under the bus to get a more favorable resolution for yourself. I can't think of anyone more self-interested to lie and deceive than an informant when you think about it.
Years until the informant was proven to be a pathological liar and an unreliable witness. And now, this is the moment that Mellon...
It took 17 years to discover that that witness was a pathological liar and unreliable. Wow.
This case is finally overturned.
The judgment is vacated, and as to Miss Mellon, the case is dismissed.
From tears in one moment to jumping in joy the next. When released, Mellon took her daughter to McDonald's to deliver that long-awaited Happy Meal. The state of California awarded Mellon $597,000 in compensation, and reportedly, the Los Angeles City Council agreed to pay $12 million to Susan Mellon.
12 mil.
This
But
is Luis
here's the
Vargas.
thing, folks. You know, Bun, Mellon, they're all receiving, $5, $6, $12 million. These people have lost years of their lives. Years. Is there any amount of money to compensate? Would you right now, if I were to give you an offer, let me know in the comments below, and as you scroll by, hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments below. If I were to tell you, listen, I will pay you $12 million, all you have to do is just go away for 17 years. Would you take it? I don't think there's a single one of you out there who would give up their freedom for the better part of a decade and a half, plus an extra cherry on top, and then when you come out, you get $12 million. Nobody would voluntarily sign up for something like that, ever. I'm sure there's going to be at least one straggler out there who will say, sure, I have nothing better to do. It's just more time for me to read books and write my essays or whatever. And then when I come out, I'm a wealthy man, I guess, or a woman. But it just, I don't know. I don't think any amount of money can make you whole once again after having had your freedom deprived from you. You know what I mean? It's rough. It's rough.
He was sentenced to 55 years to life for crimes he did not commit. Vargas was 29, living in Los Angeles, California, when he was charged with 3 sexual assaults. Based on the similar descriptions of these crimes, police concluded that it was the same person that committed all 3 attacks. Vargas was later convicted on all counts, and he spent a total of 16 years in prison until the California Innocence Project tested DNA on the remaining physical evidence and clothing from one of the victims, and it was not a match, proving that Vargas did not commit these crimes.
He is in fact innocent because the evidence will show that it undermines the prosecution's case.
Vargas sat silently when he was exonerated from all crimes. Vargas only had one simple wish from his mother for when he would become a free man.
Please buy me a big hamburger and we eat it together.
Reportedly, after Vargas was exonerated, he received $886,000 in state compensation.
He never sued? That's interesting. I don't know. His demeanor and his behavior seemed a little too chill. You see how all the other ones are kind of celebrating? Like the first 3. This one was just kind of like, oh, this has been long overdue. Now, I don't want to impose judgment, of course. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know the exact facts and whatnot. It's just he seemed a little different than the others. Let's see how the rest of these exonerated individuals fare. We have 3 more to go. There's a total of 7. We've gone through 4 of them. Let's do the last 3. Daniel Villegas.
He spent 18 years in prison for a double homicide he never committed. In El Paso, Texas, Villegas was arrested at 16, where an El Paso detective reportedly threatened him with beatings and the death penalty if he did not confess.
Oh my God.
And the teenage Villegas signed a confession that was prepared by the detectives. He tried
Wow.
to withdraw his confession a few hours after, but by then, it was too late. He was charged with 2 counts of capital murder. With the false confession being the only piece of evidence, the jury was unable to agree on a verdict. Villegas had a retrial and the jury returned a guilty verdict and he was given a life sentence.
Wow.
After spending 18 years in prison, the verdict was thrown out and Villegas remained out on bond where he got married and started a family. But now, we're in the 3rd trial.
If the defendant will please stand.
This is the moment that Villegas will find out if he'll go home with his family or be sent back to prison to serve his life sentence.
The state of Texas versus Daniel Villegas. Verdict form B. We, the jury, find the defendant Daniel Villegas not guilty of...
Oh, wow. Wow. I have
Villegas
chills.
is now a free man.
You are no longer under any conditions. You are free to leave. Thank you.
Reportedly, Villegas has filed a lawsuit against the city of El Paso.
As of today, Villegas has still not been able to reach a settlement, and there has been no verdict on his civil case against the city of El Paso, Texas. This is being recorded on July 8th, 2025. Now, for those of you who may not know, Villegas was actually also charged with domestic violence back in July of 2024. The case went to trial, and after a 2-day trial, he was found not guilty of both charges in December of 2024. Have you or someone you love been injured as a result of someone else's negligence? Or worse, lost a loved one because of it? I am attorney Larry Forman, and myself and my team of trial lawyers are ready to help you to get the absolute maximum compensation permissible under the law. We know the system. We understand how to win. Anywhere in the United States, 24 hours a day. 1-844-774-HURT. Call us. We can help.
39 years in prison for a murder he did not commit. Jackson was arrested at 18 years old, living in Cleveland, Ohio. The main witness in the case was a 12-year-old kid named Eddie Vernon, who in fact didn't see anything. And he said the police did pressure him into testifying against Jackson, which then later led to his conviction. Jackson initially was sentenced to die in the electric chair. But after spending 2 years on death row, his death sentence was reduced to life in prison. Nearly 4 decades later, the now 52-year-old Eddie Vernon came forward with the truth, stating that he never saw the murder happen. Charges against Jackson were then dropped, and after being wrongfully imprisoned for 39 years, this is the moment that Jackson hears that he is free to go.
Mr. Jackson, you're going to be free to go. Life is filled with small victories, and this is a big one. I wish you good luck. Thank you.
All right.
Jackson is now outside for the first time as a free man. Jackson received $1 million in compensation from the state and an additional $2.65 million for lost income. This is Kirsten Lobato. She served 16 years in prison for a murder she did not commit. At 18 years old, she was charged with the brutal murder of a homeless man in Las Vegas. She was first convicted of first-degree murder, but on a retrial, she was convicted on the lesser charges of voluntary manslaughter and sentenced to 13 to 45 years. And after spending 16 years behind bars, a new hearing was presented with evidence that confirmed the actual day of the victim's death was when Lobato was 3 hours away with her family.
Oh my God.
Lobato could not have possibly...
Wait a minute. The alibi was that she was 3 hours away. Why did that not come out at trial? Wow. 16 years lost because the alibi didn't work or something. That's wild.
He committed these crimes. This is Lobato outside for the first time as a free woman.
I feel overwhelmed, I feel excited, I feel grateful, I'm so happy.
Lobato has filed a lawsuit against the Las Vegas Police Department and her compensation claim is ongoing.
So where to now?
Okay, well we got the people shop.
Wow. I mean, that is terrifying to think about. By the way, shout out to the channel is called Courtroom. They currently are at 209,000 subscribers, so go ahead and give them a follow if you haven't already. And if you do follow them, fantastic. You know where this video came from. I think we got this done, folks. I'm still very, very numb. The feeling is slowly starting to come back. I'm feeling a little bit of tingles here and there, but that's about it. I wanted to thank you all for watching. I wanted to thank you all for enjoying this video with me, and I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next video tomorrow. Bye, everybody.